Today I'm joined by Brant and Alfie from Ecce. They're a software and web development house and an e-commerce specialist, building bespoke end-to-end solutions for their clients. They're working within the e-com sector for over 20 years and delivered amazing growth for their clients with their platform. Everything they do is bespoke, nothing is off the shelf. Today we're discussing their journey, the good, the bad and the ugly. So, can you tell me a bit more about yourself so you don't know who you are, please?
Alfie?
I was about to say gentlemen's first. There you go, Brant.
All right. Hi, my name is Brant. I'm the founder of Ecce. We started the business, or I started the business in 2000. We built our first e-commerce website in 2002 for a client based in America and haven't looked back since, really. We're a team of about 14. We outsource a lot of our UI stuff to partners in Europe, but everything else is done in-house. Yeah, I guess that. I mean, I had a previous career. I mean, I'm older than I look, obviously. I had a
Obviously.
previous career in financial markets. So in 2000, I left the city and started an agency, and here I am 20 years later, still doing what I love, Luke.
Still looking glorious.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Alfie?
Thanks, Luke. So I head of ops at Ecce. I look after the day-to-day running of making sure that what leaves our studio is what our clients have put requests into. I have a background in e-commerce originally. Then I moved into retail operations and worked in a piercing business and piercing and jewelry business. Took a slight detour and ran a number of retail and online locations there, and then realised that for better or for worse, my heart is in e-commerce and in agencies, and stepped back into the agency world. And here I am now, back at Ecce, looking after our operations.
Definitely for the better, obviously.
Obviously.
And I guess, Brant, for you, like, why was it e-commerce that you went into as a specialist area back in 2000? What was it that drew you to that sector?
I think, I mean, I've been working in financial markets, and we had a lot of live data coming in, and I was looking at building applications that brought this live data in, finding us opportunities for ourselves and our clients. And I became more and more interested in the tech. So when I left the city, I was building basically websites, but obviously the next the natural progression is to build something that is a bit more functionality rather than just form. So I was keen to get into an e-commerce situation. So I built a couple of applications for various different companies, none of them e-commerce. An opportunity came along to build for a company in Boston. There was nothing really off the shelf at the time. Everything had to be handcrafted with love, obviously. And so that was a first integration of our back-end platform. So we built our own e-commerce platform that handled everything that comes standard out of the box now: email marketing, product management, CRM, client management. So yeah, I mean, it was a natural progression from. I mean, I got bored of building little websites, so we started working on more complex, bigger clients, and it's also interesting that you become sort of center to. The way I say it is, we help companies run businesses. They don't run e-commerce websites. We come along and build this website. They could just basically fire and forget to a point, and so that's what we've done for a lot of businesses, and we get quite involved. So it's not like you're selling hammers every day and that's your job for the rest of your life. You're moving within other businesses, finding other verticals and sectors to work in, which is always interesting because you learn about something else. I mean, whether it be horse semen, for example, one client, or it could be boats. I mean, you learn about these businesses and how they work, and what problems and challenges they face, and how we can fix them. So we're generally the last. We come along, and they may have an ERP system. We work with established businesses that have had systems before, that they know what they do want and they know what they don't want. And so we don't work with startups or anything like that. We work with companies that have actually heavily invested, but they need to make that final investment to get them over the line and get all their systems in one place. And so that's where we've come from, building brochure-style websites back in 99, 2000, into building these large, integrated e-commerce business management systems for our clients. I mean, they're all custom built, so no one's having to try and shoehorn their business processes into something that they bought off the shelf. It's built with them in mind, their challenges, their aspirations, and I like being involved in these businesses.
Yeah, good. Amazing. Okay, cool. And then in terms of like biggest challenges either you've faced with in sort of current business or with clients, like what would you say some of the biggest challenges you both sort of face within the sector has been?
Is that me or is that Alfie? Alfie, do you want that one?
That's Alfie, I think. Yeah.
I think
That's yours, Alfie.
Oh God. Okay. No. I mean, I think one of the things that our business is incredible for is especially when you're in a management position, is that you get to see and obviously run and grow and scale our business, and you do that alongside our clients, our partners, and those around us, and we really see two sides of what happens, and there's, whether we're working with an e-commerce retailer, whether we're working with a software company, I talk about ourselves as an agency, or whether I'm talking about manufacturers or any other businesses. I mean, we see really common problems. So, for example, our product is only as good as our people, right? And we're only as good as the team that we've got and the processes that our team execute. And so I think one of the really common themes that I see within the whole industry and within ourselves as well is, how can we produce a scalable machine factory that works for, similar to our wholesale distribution clients? How do we take what is a complicated piece of work, what is complicated requirements, what are complex problems to have to solve, and do that in a scalable way and make money at the same time, right? Because I'm sure we've all sold and delivered projects where we've thought it's going to be simple, and it's ended up being complicated, and we've all lost money and had to drown our sorrows. So how do we take what is really complex, what are really intelligent staff, and turn them into some kind of production line-esque process-driven system that means that we can deliver a great result for our client, that means that their processes are, and software that backs them up are exactly as they need, but also allows us to be able to train, recruit, and develop our own stuff, right? So I think for us, probably one of the largest challenges we've got, especially as we scale, is thinking about how do we build a model that allows us to retain, attract, and recruit new people into our business in a way that isn't going to restrict their technical capability, isn't going to mean that they do a poor job. It doesn't mean that our clients are annoyed, but also means that they want to come to work and they want to be able to do what they're really great at, which is problem solving, and what our clients really enjoy working with us for. How do we build out processes and systems in a scalable way that mean that we're able to be seen as agile and competitive in the market, but also the sturdy supplier that our businesses need?
Yeah.
That was two very long answers to two very simple questions. We're sorry about that, Luke. I'll apologise.
It's okay. It's
I'll
okay.
apologise on Alfie's behalf.
Yeah, but if you take half of one and half of the other, you've probably got a somewhat okay answer.
I mean, we'll have finished the podcast.
Exactly. Amazing. Great. Down to the pub.
Yeah, I think just to fill in that, I mean, the challenges are finding good talent. I mean, all our guys are great problem solvers, not necessarily commercial. So putting these guys who are really talented, good developers, in building a bit of an autonomy. So the way we structure our teams, we build out pods, and so we build teams where they'll have seniors, medias, and juniors, and they're all sort of helping lift each other up. And it doesn't help having one pod competing against another in terms of delivery targets and solutions and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, when I started this business 20 years ago, 24 years ago, whenever it was, These aren't problems that you think about. You just get on and do the job. But as we now, I step back and I step up in terms of, I still love the thrill of the chase. I still love finding solutions to people's problems, and people coming to us and saying, we've got this problem, no one else can help us. Can you help us? And generally we can, but you're also managing teams of people, and what with COVID and everything, we've got a great company culture when we all worked in the same building, but now we recruit quite a few remote workers as well, which is always a challenge to try and instill this. So we used to have barbecues and hack days and stuff like that, but it's very difficult to do that when someone's in Durham, for example, and we're down here in sunny, well, not so sunny now, but sunny Kent. I mean, that are the challenges, really. I mean, we're good at turning out code. We don't want to turn these people into robots and machines. Everything's done custom built, so they all have a part to play in the projects, and we start greenfields generally, and bring in learnings we take from other projects, but culturally trying to get everyone culturally aligned when they're scattered forward is always a challenge.
Use Brant's answer, not mine.
I guess you probably covered a little bit of this anyway, but the real question next, I guess, is like, why do you love what you do? And I guess, and what's kept you coming back for 20, 24 years, day in, day out? What is it that's
I think as soon
kept
as I
you?
left, yeah, I think as soon as I left the city, I became unemployable, and then when I became my own boss, definitely unemployable. So no one else would have me, to be honest. So, I mean, I kept on turning up at the office, and there was no one there to lock the door, so I kept on coming. No, I think the thrill of the chase. So finding clients, new clients. So we've got clients from all over the place. From originally from New Zealand, and just by coincidence, we've got a manufacturing company that we work with who are 2 miles down the road from where I grew up, and that is just a coincidence. But they had a unique set of challenges that they needed us to fix. And so yeah, I mean, I like problem solving. I like the team I work with. I like all my clients. Categorically, I like all my clients. But yeah, I enjoy what I do. I enjoy coming to work. I love coming back to the guys and saying, look, we've got this challenge. How are we going to do it? And going back to the client and providing a very elegant and cost-effective solution for them, which is going to turn their business around. So that's why I like helping businesses grow. Also, I like watching the teams grow. So, we had a guy with us for 17 years. He joined us at 18, and he's sort of, you see these guys grow up, you see them get mortgages, you see them get married, whatever. I mean, so it's all part of this sort of circle of life sort of thing. I mean, I enjoy it. I mean, it's good running an agency. It's chaotic and mental, but I mean, hey.
Yeah, very good. Okay, and I guess in terms of the growth you've had over the years, like how have you been able to grow the business in terms of like winning new clients, and then with that again, how have you continued to build a great reputation as well?
I think, yeah, business development is always a challenge, especially when you're niched like us. I mean, when people compare Ecce, for example, to other agencies, they're not necessarily comparing apples and apples. So there's a lot of agencies out there who will build you a website on a ubiquitous platform or something. It'll do what you want, but if you want something special, you've got a unique set of challenges, then this is what we do. In terms of finding those clients, it's difficult. We integrate with a lot of different ERP and MRP systems. These are the business software systems that run some of these businesses that need extending, and so we get referrals in by them. People see the work we do and go, "That's great. Can I have one of those? How much?" And we'll go, "A lot." But a lot of it's word of mouth. A lot of people will, we're in a couple of agency networks, and we've got a reputation that we are very capable. We don't, as I said, we don't do any UI or design in-house. So when we build it out, it's very functional, but it's rather agricultural. But that doesn't mean it's bad. It just means that it's generally green and runs on ship oil. But no, So we work with other development partners or other creative agencies to make the stuff that works well look really good. So, and so they bring opportunities to us as well. So we've got a bit of a network of things. We've got a reputation of being pretty good at what we do. I think we punch above our weight considering the size we are, and some of the clients in our roster. So again, I guess, it's just, and I think, not to mention another podcast, I think also that one of the life learnings is just don't be a dick. If you're a nice guy, people will work with you. So
It's so true, isn't it?
yeah.
It's it's similar in our industry, right? In recruitment, because everyone thinks recruiters are, well, as you say, dicks,
Oh,
and they'll be right for
I
them.
didn't think that.
You would think that's right for the most part, but I think if you get somebody who generally gives a shit about what they do and they want to partner with their clients, it's the same with what you're doing, isn't it? You actually care about
Yeah.
the challenges they're facing and ensuring that you can actually provide a solution that fixes that problem, right? It's
Yeah.
all the same sort of
Yeah,
ideas, I guess.
exactly. When we partnership, so we got long-term relationships with these clients. We've been with them for years and years and years and years. So, and that continues because they're happy with what we're doing. They're getting amazing results. We are always there on the end of the phone or on support, and reliable. And the guys are very easy to communicate with in terms of they're not too technical. In terms of they don't convey their ideas and technically. And we've got people like Alfie that are very good at client comms. We just recruited a guy, the head of engineering, and he's really good as well. So he's managing the team. So it's all sort of coming together. So growing in terms of team-wise, it's been a sort of a glacially slow sort of experience. When my first employee was in 2003 or four or something. And so we never really got much more than 5 or 6, and then up and down. And I think, our head count at the moment, Alfie, is about 14, I suppose, and we're sort of probably looking to bring in. It's also a bit of a balancing act. Do you hire talent? You've got to hire talent when you see it, right? Because they don't come along every day, and good people are hard to find. But do you hire in front of the pipeline, or do you wait for the projects to drop, and then you've got to wait sometimes 3 months to onboard these people as well? So it's a bit of a balancing act. You got to sort of pick and choose your moments, which is a bit of a challenge. But I mean, again, it's part of the game, right?
Exactly. Have you found the way that works best for you as a business? Like, would you prefer to wait until projects drop and there's that, if you will, cash flow or projects there to hire that person, or are you more of a case of opportunistic? If someone great comes along and you feel there's a place for him, you would make the room for him.
I I'm probably opportunistic. So if I see great talent when it comes along, I'll take it and we'll find them something. I don't like someone starting and then they come into the middle of a big project and we've been waiting for them to join so we can get it. I think there's enough of an onboarding process. There's enough sort of enough to keep them busy for a couple of weeks to get their feet under the table. And also, if we're hiring good people, they're bringing something to the party as well. So there's a bit of a team development, and that's what days like earlier in the week was, when we have a team days and we all get together, that we can sort of, the new guys can meet the OG.
Not say new guys.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, what was the question?
Well, you sort of broke off a little bit there. It's more around like, are you optimistic about your hiring?
Yeah,
It sounds
okay.
like you are.
We're not overly risk adverse.
Talent is hard, yeah.
Talent is hard, but we'll take a risk when we need to. Always been like that.
Good. And in terms of where you're at right now, I guess, what is the biggest hurdle you're facing right now? Like in the day-to-day e-commerce world, what are you and Alfie sort of find are your biggest sort of challenges and hurdles you're having to get over?
Go on, Alfie.
Well, I think our biggest hurdle is probably as we look at how our clients' demands are changing. How do we make sure that our business is robustly shaped enough to be able to support them alongside? So we the very traditional model is fixed fee prices. So, for example, you want a website, you're going to pay me £1 for it, and maybe multiply that a few times for goodwill. But you pay a fixed fee to deliver a project, and that's it, and it's very transactional. And for many years, that's what clients needed. They needed a robust supplier to deliver that. But more and more, we're seeing that our clients want us on tap. They want us accessible. They want us to be constantly innovating their business and viewing us more of a development department than a supplier.
Yes.
Right? We are their development supplier. So how do we shape our business, our team, our pods, our commercials, our marketing, how do we shape our business to be set up in a way to act more like people's development departments rather than their suppliers?
Yeah.
Which is what we're doing more and more of. It gives them flexibility. As I said, for fixed cost projects, I mean, the developer always gets screwed because there's scope creep, or there's something that you didn't discover, or whatever. We tend to sort of, I think, a handshake's a handshake. You say you're going to do something, and you're going to do it, you're going to deliver it, and we've never welched on that. But it's not a license to print money. So by introducing, helping to sort of set up a team or a company's development team, and then bring on your board and help them recruit in and stuff like that, is where we're sort of looking at in terms of our business model. So we'll parachute in a pair of breeding developers, and then help them bring them up to speed, help them to get their processes in place. Effectively franchising our own pod model into their own development team, help them grow out the business. And again, we are there as second line support. We will always be there. We're partners anyway, but we want to help them get on. And it also gives them flexibility that if the boss wakes up the next day and wants to do something completely different, the developers are there, to me, pretty much at their whim, rather than we don't have to scope something out and take 2 weeks to get pricing back to forwards and agree. They can say, right, well, we've got 8 days a month. The Ecce team are with us. Next week we'll get them to change all the logos to pink or something like that.
Yeah, this seems that is the way in e-com. You have to be available a lot more maybe than other sectors, right? You've got to be there. You've got to be able to, because if one of your clients goes down at 10 o'clock on a Friday night type thing, and it's peak time for them, like, you can't just be sitting and saying, I'm sorry, I clocked off at 5, I can't do anything. Like, you need to be more accessible, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and gone are the days we're using shared hosting and stuff like that. We use industry standard AWS configurations. We've got our own DevOps guys that make sure that the servers are all running optimally. They're self-healing, so hopefully there won't be a phone call or a support message at 10 o'clock. But yeah, we've scaled to a point where we've got all these things covered. So people, and again, people are in the business. Our clients are busy running businesses. They're not running websites, so they don't need to give a shit about whether the website's up or down, because we've got them, right? That's what we do. That's what they sign us up for. That's what the team are good at. And money will keep rolling in for them.
Absolutely.
Not for me, obviously. I work for lots.
I think that's I think you just hit the nail on the head, which is that we have to remember that we're in the really fortunate position as that partner where we make our clients money, right? And we are the engine normally for businesses to be able to make money. One of our clients came to us. His website was doing £8,000 a year. It's now doing millions of pounds a year, and we are there to support that growth, and we're also there to support their website and their infrastructure when they don't want to hear about it. They don't want to hear that they're changing servers, or that we've increased their CPU cores, or they've doubled their RAM, whatever. They don't care what the infrastructure is for making their business money. They care about the fact that they pay us to look after that, and so they just know that it's looked after, and they know that it's trusted in our hands. That luckily, one of the requirements on my job description is that I have to be an insomniac, right? Because if Pingdom texts me at 2 a.m. in the morning and it's gone down, right, we sort it out, and they pay for that, monitor and protect, and that that peace of mind. And I think that's one of the things that we really thrive on as a business, is that we are so passionate about, and it's genuine passion, in the team for our clients and for them doing well. And so come back to this idea of being, their development department, it's in our best interest that that client does as well as they possibly can.
Definitely.
And they take that to our team, take that really, really personally and passionately.
Good. Going back to that example you gave about £8,000 a year to now millions, that's obviously a ridiculous case study, right? You talk about, but how did that happen? Like, so it's not a case of like build a new website and then go live. Sure, it must be like, without going into everything. Obviously, I don't want to give away all your trade secrets, but
It's
I
not
think
unique. It's not unique.
it.
Do you want me to?
Okay.
Do you want to?
I'll give
No,
it
you
a
go.
go.
You go.
I'll give it a go. Maybe we'll come out.
I'll fix it after you fuck it up, Alfie. Okay.
I mean, that is basically our day, right? That's all day, every day. Anyway, it's. I think for us, it's because we don't just look at we've said it in many ways, and I'm going to say it in one more way in this podcast, right? We don't just look at it as a website. We look at it as a business and a business model. So if a customer comes to us, and this customer is a great example, they come to us and they go, "We need a better website because we've got all of these problems," and we go, "Well, it's not that you need a better. It's not that you need a better website. It's the fact that you need the tools to be able to do the processes that you actually have, that you actually know work in your industry. What you need is the technology to match those processes." So whether that's complicated shipping requirements, whether that's a competition entry management system, whether that's an e-learning platform, whether it's VoIP database management, whatever it is, why do our clients, work with us, partner with us, retain us, spend so much time with us? Well, it's because we sit in their board, we help them to really almost act a bit like a CTO type figure. We look after how can we help your business make money? And as soon as we give you the tools, the ability, the platform to be able to truly do what as your product expert or your industry expert, we're giving you the facility to do that, so you make money. You haven't just got a website, you've got the tools, you've got the platform, you've got the capability to run your business how will make you money.
yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
I think that particular example is that they had a poor website that was poorly maintained, but that wasn't their challenges. They had a load of other challenges. Their sales team were always on the phone handling calls and stuff like that. We take that away from the sales team, push that through the e-commerce channel, and so it's plain and simple and easy to use. So that we migrated, over the course of a year, 50% of their business off the phones and onto the websites. Suddenly,
Makes a big difference.
they're freeing up their sales team to get out and sell or do bigger deals or whatever. So, and that's, I mean, it's not a unique case. These people are sort of they're struggling because they're trying to do everything in a house. That they're running a website, they're doing this, but everything else is failing along the way as well. So during lockdown, one of the challenges was that they were getting people fax them in orders. And so the orders wouldn't get processed until someone went in the office 2 days a week, and they would print out the orders, they'd come back and then manually type them into the system. So they would receive orders via email and stuff like that. So what we build is we build a system that will listen to these emails, process these emails automatically, put it into the system. So no one had to go into the office to worry about the printing. No one had to double handle any data. And this, if it takes half an hour to manually key in an entry and they've got 10 entries, 10 orders sitting there, that's 5 hours of someone's day that they could be better spent selling, putting together a 50 grand deal with a property developer or something like that,
Yeah, very different. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, I think we probably covered this a little bit as well, to be fair, but what would you say makes your agency distinct from others, like in the marketplace, like in terms of like differentiate?
Awesome.
Perfect. Let's move on.
And they've got me.
Don't forget Alfie.
And we've only just got Alfie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're just betting him in, So I think had my time again, I would have built something and sold it a million times over and make a tidy profit. But what we do is we like solving problems. We are very hands-on in terms of getting under the carpet of what is keeping CFOs and MDs and awake at night. How do we solve their problems? And I think a lot of clients, a lot of agencies, or some agencies, just are delivering a website. They're not delivering solutions and longevity and ROI and coming back and saying, hey, you were talking about this when we were last visiting or whatever, we've got this solution, or we could build something that will work for you. So we're always being proactive as well. So I think unique is that we're not I think we're innovators rather than implementers. So we are not just doing what the client wants us to do. We're bringing something to the party. We don't turn up with a slab of beer. We're bringing a couple of slabs of beer to the party.
Yeah.
And that's how we
like
roll.
that.
Yeah.
I like that. Good phrase, that. Okay. And then again, in terms of like competition challenges in the market, like to set you guys apart from the sound of it, it's obviously the team, the solution, the embedded sort of nature of what you guys do, and again, all overarching element of it all is that you really care about that client because you are part of their journey with them.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah. I mean, I can't speak for every other agency. I'll leave it at that.
I thought you were going to give away the secret of why you keep winning business. It must have been 2 slabs of beer you turned up with, Brant, rather than just the one.
Never turn up empty-handed at a party. Always bring more than you can drink yourself.
That's very good.
I'm just not going to add anything. That was bad.
No, I wouldn't. I don't think you need to. Okay, and then in terms of like the team then, so how would you describe the culture within the agency? Like, how has it evolved as you've added the people to the business?
Yeah, I think it's driven top down. I mean, I'm a pretty sort of free and easy kind of a relaxed management style. I think we've sort of firmed up a little bit in terms of with Alfie joining head of ops. He's far more focused on what he does rather than I'm sort of, over the last year, I've been doing everything. So now we're a bit more focused. We've got head of ops, we've got head of engineering.
Yeah.
So they sort of, again, they're a more serious part of the team because they've got targets and goals, whereas at the end of the day, I was just delivering solutions and stuff like that. Whereas now we're a bit more sort of, I don't know, you'd think by the age of 24, you're a bit more grown up, right? So I think, we finally got there. But culturally, I think, developers are developers. They're interesting individuals. They've all got their quirks and like the rest of us.
Yep. Often we discovered their favourite motorway junctions.
Yes, they often have conversations about which detour did you take today. Anyway, so but I think it's difficult sometimes to find out what motivates them. I mean, is it the autonomy that motivates them, or is it the money that motivates them, or is it having interesting clients and interesting projects? And one of our guys is always coming new ideas, and we're introducing machine learning and AI and all this stuff. And so we have these hack days, we have these events, we have barbecues last summer. We haven't really done any this year because the weather's been shit, and I think we're a bit pushed to capacity in terms of where we're at. We've got a couple of projects that are just sort of finishing off, but the next one's around the corner. But I think culturally they like a challenge. They like building stuff. The guys who are in the studio come in 3 days a week. Enjoy working with each other. We enjoy getting together and having a bit of a laugh, like we did at our Ecce Day in London earlier in the week. So I mean, it's difficult, as I said, it's difficult to maintain culture when people are sort of scattered around the country. So we try and have these. We're introducing an all hands day where we can all turn up and we'll spend 2 days in the studio together, going through existing projects, discussing new projects, and discussing any new ideas and stuff like that. So, I mean, it is, we're part of a, it's a good place to work, I'd like to think. There is a bit more sort of, I don't know, solemnity is the right word, but we're a bit more serious now in terms of how we do things, and when we're all a bit sort of free and easy up till recently. But I think
Are you saying I'm really boring and really serious?
well, you're a bit of a hard taskmaster. I mean, I got a
I
list
am.
today. I got a list of things to do today. Like, how's that supposed to work?
It was great. I mean, I was the world's. This is to be clear, not how we manage our workflows. But I sent Brant a Slack at 8 p.m. Sunday morning and said, by Monday morning, can you have this done, please? No, that doesn't make sense, does it? Sunday evening, I said, can you have this done by Monday morning? And
Yeah.
and he did. He did, and I was very happy and thankful.
Oh, well done, Brant. Proud of you as well, mate.
Thank you,
I'm really proud of you.
at least someone thanked me for finishing off the list. But anyway,
Alfie, you can probably take this one on, mate. This next one is more around like onboarding. Like, how have you? Because when did you join the business?
So I joined Ecce about 4 months ago, and when I was sort of onboarded, realised that there was a number of opportunities for us to be able to change the onboarding process, and we've got quite a well-defined hiring strategy in terms of we knew what our capacity levels were going to be over the next few months, and coming back to that, are we reactive or proactive hires? Well, actually, we used some foresight to be proactive in hiring this quarter. And like I say, our engineering manager joined and everything else. So we had a number of hires joining over the last sort of few months, and got final one for this quarter joining us next week. And we knew that we had to get this right. We knew that we had to have some changes. So the combination of my recent experience and talking to recently onboarded remote developers, etc., meant that as a management team, we could really have quite an open and honest conversation about what do we want the first impression of an employee's time at Ecce to look like, and we've completely overhauled the onboarding process. So now, at our company's cost, we bring down to the studio in Oxford. We bring down the employee regardless of where they are in the UK. Put them up in a local hotel, breakfast, and take them out for curry, all that kind of stuff. They get to be hands-on with the management team, with their line manager, and with the other senior developers. Be introduced to the technologies we have, the clients we have, the people they'll be working with, and kind of go back to that kind of old school approach to doing things in person. We really have found that's helped us. And then this is probably more about retention than onboarding, but it will only be a maximum of 90 days before they're back in our studio with the whole business seeing everyone again. We've introduced quarterly all hands days where they're 50% on the books, 50% on passion projects, working together as a team to problem solve, to innovate, and to get to know each other better, and go bowling and have ice cream, and do the kind of stuff that you want to do as developers. And so we've gone back to
I want to work there.
Exactly. No, but we have, we've gone back to how do we want to come across in our first, they talk about presidents in their first 100 days, right? How do we come across in our first 100 days as an employer? And we've gone back to basics. We get people in person. We problem solve together. We look over shoulders, and then it's easier to also emulate that online as well. It makes that, could you jump on this quick Slack huddle? Could you just have a quick Google Meet? Could we do a quick screen share? It makes that a lot easier if they've done it the first time in person, I think.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, I've been doing this for a long time now, and the onboarding process is one of the biggest things to get right, as well as a good interview process, obviously as well. But when you join the team, you can't just go completely against everything you've said during the process, or you can't change the parameters when they're in the door and they sign the contract. They've got to be so, just get them right. It's so important. Good people, finding good people, keeping good talent, retention. There's the, it's a bit of a guy there for 18 years. You wouldn't have kept him for so long if he wasn't really enjoying everything that he was doing in the business, and that's a long old time. And I think we talked about the podcast going live. You mentioned about the length of time clients stay with you as well. You got I might get this wrong, so I don't want to say a number, but it's 10 plus years, isn't it? In terms of people stay with you.
Yeah, we had a meeting with a client yesterday, and they have been with us 13, 14 years.
It's impressive for an agency, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but we fucking rock.
And you're fucking awesome. Ecce is the place to be.
There you go.
Nice. Okay, good. And then, I mean, last sort of few questions wise, I guess, would be, yeah, I mean, this is probably where you are now in terms of you talk about the head of engineering, Alfie joining, you're looking to scale like now by the sounds of it. Like, what advice are you almost giving yourself when you're looking to do that scaling? Like, what is it that is the biggest driver for you in the people, in the growth you're going to have?
It gives me a chance, I guess, to get back to doing what I used to do. Is, I mean, I'm no longer on the tools. I'm not coding anymore, but I'm finding solutions, and by having a management team that can look after the day-to-days of everything and make sure that everyone's happy, all their clients are happy, the team's happy, everyone's got everything they need to do, then I can confidently go out knowing. And then not everything comes through my networks or stuff like that, but I can confidently go out and speak proudly about the services that we're providing, and knowing that everything's in hand. It's a professional outfit that everyone, and we're going through an ISO audit again this coming month. That's something that we're very proud of our business processes, and everything that either goes right or wrong is a learning opportunity, and we bring that back to the party. So having a senior leadership team, then a sort of a loose hierarchy within developers. We're bringing up younger developers. So I always, as I said, I mean, I've seen this guy join me, and he's grown over 18 years. He's grown up. He's bought himself a house, and got married and all that sort of stuff. It's sort of that drives me, as the success not just of my customers but my team, and as my team grows, or as our team grows and our success grows, our clients grow, and it's all sort of mixed in with one, really. It's sort of, there's not a chicken and egg, or which cart goes first, what goes first, the cart or the horse, or that's a shit analogy, but
Yeah, well, I know what you
or
mean.
metaphor, or, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about now, but it's got long in the day.
I,
Yeah, it's sort of, I think that's the sort of the thing that we're delivering, and the success of what we do helps businesses grow, and vice versa. And then we get a reputation of being the people that can do.
Yeah.
I think as
Sorry,
well
sorry,
as we
Alfie.
look at, I was just gonna say, I think as well as when we look at, what do we need to be thinking about with our own scaling, our own growth, whatever. I spent a few years previous to working with Ecce in a VC-backed agency where numbers and timesheets and accountability and growth was the mindset. And the massively driving factor for that was the fact that there was a really clear focus. We had, and we have this at Ecce as well. We have a really clearly defined purpose. This is what we do. This is who we do it for. This is what we want. And I think if our culture if that is embedded throughout our organizational culture, and if our leadership team are really strongly focused on how do we get what we want, and this is what we want, and that isn't changing, as if we are stubbornly optimistic about that, then our clients will see that passion and want to work with us.
Agreed. Okay. And in terms of, can you share three key takeaways from sort of growing your workforce effectively, and managing that and maintaining that positive culture? Like, what would you say are your biggest sort of takeaways? Again, Brant and Alfie, from your sort of side.
I mean, it's difficult to find out what motivates developers. I mean, some people are motivated by money, some people aren't. I guess giving them a safe and interesting environment to work in, somewhere where they want to come into work, something that they have pride in. One of our guys spent Sunday afternoon trying to get ahead of a project for a client in Australia. And it's not expected. I mean, it is appreciated, but nothing's for nothing, right? So these guys are proud of what they do. I'm proud of what the guys do. I'm proud of the work that goes out the door. I'm proud of our clients. And I think key takeaway is, nothing's ever going to be perfect, because, there's a budget or there's a time constraint, anything like that. But if we can turn out the best we can do, and the client's happy, and we over deliver, I think, just isn't good enough. or good it isn't good enough, but I mean, you've got to get somewhere. And I think, and also don't employ dicks.
I mean, it's yeah.
It's simple
Completely
maths.
agree.
Simple maths.
The amount of offices that I've been to where on the wall it's just blasted, we don't employ dicks, or don't be a dick, or
Yeah.
the other word is, don't be a, you know, a, I won't say that one. That might be too far, but that's also on some clients' walls as well. Because if you don't look after your clients, someone else will.
Well, exactly. And the thing is, and it's the same with your talent, right? I love my guys. They're all hardworking. They're all individuals, though, but they work great as teams. But yeah, look after the talent, and they're keen to please, make sure that we're happy, I'm happy. So I mean, I think it is a. I mean, I don't like the word karmic, but it is a sort of what goes around comes around.
Yeah, no, agreed. What about you, Alfie? What would you say?
What's my biggest takeaway so far from? Sorry, what's the question?
Yeah, I mean, I guess in terms of like when you're bringing on staff, or when you're looking to scale, whatever it might be, or maintaining a positive culture, like what's the one thing that you think either Ecce do exceptionally well in Brant in terms of that driving that, or what have you seen in other businesses like they've done really well, like
Yeah.
maintaining their culture?
I think the thing is we are so receptive to feedback here, that's one of our massive strengths, and one of the biggest takeaways for me is that as you grow and scale the business, you're going to be dealing with more and more people, more and more staff, clients, vendors, contractors, employees, or whoever it is. There's more opinions in the hat all of the time, or in the ring all of the time. And the question is, who do you listen to, and how do you prioritize, and how do you please everyone? Well, you're never going to please everyone, right? But how do we motivate, and how do we listen to, and how do we engage with our employees? Because that is, for us in our business, the most important thing. If we've got, they say happy wife, happy life, right? Well, happy workers is happy Brant. And
Absolutely.
how do we arrange that? How do we sort that out and keep people on side? Because we don't want to employ dicks, and we don't want to come across as dicks as managers.
Yeah, I went to an event a couple of weeks ago to finish this off, and they've got this thing called, like, instead of dicks, they said about arseholes, don't employ arseholes. And the lady went, they got a whiff of an arsehole in their office, and they moved that person on very quickly because they got that whiff very quickly and just moved them on, because one
Definitely.
bad egg in a business can make such a
Right.
big difference, can't it? Same like in a sports team, in anything
Yeah,
you have.
exactly.
Like, you've got one person not pulling that same way.
I think I learned over the years that you've got to hire well and fire fast, and I'm very sort of I like giving people second chances and stuff like that. I always try and see the best in people, but one key takeaway is that if you get that whiff, Luke, get rid of them.
Yeah, it's very true. Well done, Alfie. You've made it past 4 or 5 months. You must have got past that stage, hopefully.
Let's see what happens at the 6 months review, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And when we spoke last time, you mentioned you've got a big event coming up. Is that right? You're speaking at a big event in September?
Yeah, we're really excited to be talking at the e-commerce marketing show part of Brighton SEO on, I think it's the 13th of September, that Wednesday, the first day. We're really excited to be talking about our platform that we've built, and what we've learned over the years, and what Brant's learned over the years. And I mean, did you know, Luke, he started with hair, right? We were looking
Wow.
through the archive.
We all
We were
did,
looking.
Alfie. We all did, didn't you, Luke?
Well, I didn't start fulfilled with hair, I can say that. I started recruitment with hair, but not much. Not sure if that's even true.
So,
No,
so, 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 every slide behind us basically will be a picture of Brant progressively losing more hair.
I didn't.
Fantastic.
I never had hair when I started the business. I'm sorry, Alfie. I lived with that or something.
Love that. Well, guys, thank you ever so much for joining me. It's been fantastic talking to you and learning more about the journey and the future. And I wish you guys all the best. Like, you've got amazing platform. You do the right things by your client, and as we said a few times, you generally give a shit about what you do, and goes a hell of a long way when you do that.
Cool. Thanks, man. Thanks for your time, Luke. Thanks for getting in touch.
Thank you.